The Pentagon ordered more troops to the Middle East, even as President Trump said the war in Iran has already been won. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Wednesday, March 25th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. President Donald Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth took questions at the White House yesterday about the Iran war. More than 3 weeks of U.S. and Israeli airstrikes have killed many of Iran's senior leaders and destroyed much of its military capability. Hegseth told reporters that the campaign was one for the history books and that, quote, "we negotiate with bombs." Trump was asked if he was hopeful a peace deal would work out with Iran.
Well, I think we're going to end it. I can't tell you for sure. I don't like to say this. We've won this. This war has been won. The only one that likes to keep it going is the fake news. I mean, the New York Times, you read the New York Times, it's like we're not winning a war where they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no nothing.
Trump has been touting peace talks with Iran, but he hasn't said which Iranian leaders were involved in talks. And Iran has publicly denied that any talks, direct or indirect, are taking place. Even as Trump has made declarations of impending peace, he is weighing a significant escalation. The Pentagon yesterday ordered a couple thousand paratroopers to deploy to the region. It is not yet clear whether they will deploy to Iran itself. According to U.S. officials, the administration is considering seizing Karg Island. That's an Iranian territory in the Persian Gulf from which Tehran exports about 90% of its oil. Florida Democrats secured a stunning election victory in Trump's backyard. That's number 2. Yesterday, voters went to the polls in a special election for a Florida State House district that includes Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. In an upset, Democrat Emily Gregory defeated John Maples, a Republican who was endorsed by the president and aligns with his policies. Gregory's win is a coup for Democrats. The party has struggled in Florida, which has moved to the right since Trump's first presidential win. The victory there is another sign of Democratic momentum ahead of November's midterm elections. And public records show that Trump, who is pressuring senators to curb the use of mail-in voting, actually voted by mail in this special election. Number 3. Minnesota sued the Trump administration over shootings by federal agents. In January, federal officers killed Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. They were both 37-year-old U.S. citizens protesting Trump's immigration crackdown. Officers also shot Julio Cesar Sosa Salas, an undocumented Venezuelan immigrant who was wounded during a foot chase near his home. Yesterday, Minnesota officials sued the Departments of Justice and Homeland Security. They are seeking evidence related to the 3 shootings that they allege the agencies have withheld. Federal authorities have sought to portray Good, Preddy, and Sosa Salas as aggressors who attacked immigration officers, forcing them to open fire. But videos of all 3 incidents cast doubt on those official accounts. Number 4 is a Post exclusive. A prosecutor admitted that the government lacks evidence against Fed Chair Jerome Powell. A top deputy to U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro made a surprising acknowledgement in a closed-door hearing this month. The prosecutor said that the Justice Department did not have evidence of wrongdoing in its criminal investigation of the Federal Reserve. Pirro had opened the inquiry after Powell gave brief testimony on the cost of a renovation of the Fed's headquarters during a congressional hearing last year. Trump has claimed that there is criminality in that $2.5 billion overhaul. A federal judge, though, blocked a subpoena of Powell this month, describing it as an illegal effort by the Trump administration to pressure Powell to lower interest rates or resign from the central bank. At number 5. A jury said Meta must pay $375 million for endangering children online. In a landmark case, the state of New Mexico argued that Facebook put young users at risk of harms, including sexual abuse. Facebook's parent company, Meta, was accused of allowing its platforms to become venues for child predators to solicit young users. Yesterday, a jury sided with the state. Now, Meta must pay a huge sum for violations of the state's consumer protection laws. New Mexico's Attorney General called the case a historic victory. To gather evidence, investigators from New Mexico's Department of Justice went undercover on Facebook. That probe also led to criminal charges against 3 men. Meta plans to appeal the verdict and said it remains confident in its record of protecting teens online. Number 6. A deadly meningitis outbreak is raising concerns in the UK. 2 young adults have died and 18 others were hospitalized in an outbreak of bacterial meningitis in Kent, England. The outbreak seems to have occurred in people, including students from 2 universities who attended a nightclub there in early March. Meningococcal disease develops quickly and is very dangerous. More than 10% of those who get it will die of it, even with treatment. People in their teens and early 20s are considered to be at greater risk. In the US, these types of infections are uncommon, thanks in large part to the success of meningococcal vaccines. But cases have risen over the past few years. And in January, the CDC updated its childhood immunization schedule to no longer universally recommend the vaccines to adolescents. A judge temporarily halted those changes this month. It's important to know how to spot meningitis symptoms quickly. For more on how to do that, follow the link in our newsletter. And at number 7, people over 65 can get better with age if they have a positive attitude about aging. A new study reviewed data from a survey of several thousand people who were asked their thoughts about getting older. The researchers examined their cognitive health and walking speed, which is generally considered a good indicator of physical fitness. They followed up with participants for up to 12 years to see whether their scores improved and if there was a link to their views on aging. The results were pretty revealing. Nearly half of the participants over 65 improved physically, cognitively, or both. And people with positive beliefs about aging were more likely to be in that group. It's not hard to imagine why. If you feel good about yourself as you age, it feels worth it to invest the time and energy in working out, socializing, and volunteering. And those are the things that keep our brains and bodies ticking. If you are a negative Nelly, though, there are steps you can take. For example, research has found the benefits of spending more time in intergenerational settings, which sounds like a pretty good motivation to babysit your grandchildren, if you have any, this weekend. All right, you're all caught up. Before you go, a reminder that if you're a subscriber to The Washington Post, you can get access to our shows ad-free in Apple Podcasts. All you have to do is find the Washington Post channel in Apple Podcasts and connect your Post subscription. If you're not a subscriber, this is a great time to start. We have a sale right now. You can sign up at our channel in Apple Podcasts or through the link in our show notes. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.